The microphone right behind you.
We have a president right now that is operating outside the structure of our Constitution. And I want to know, yeah, I do agree he should be tried for treason. But I want to know what you are going to be able to do to help restore balance between the three branches of government and what you're going to be able to do to restore our Constitution in this country.
Well, as I'm sure you do, I happen to believe that the Constitution was not just brilliant, but probably inspired. I believe the same thing about the Declaration of Independence. And I believe, unlike what the President said about the Supreme Court, where he suggested that it was, not just suggested, he said that it would be unprecedented for the Supreme Court to overturn a decision by the legislature. Actually, that's their role and has been since Marbury versus Madison in the early 1800s. And so I will respect the different branches of government if I'm fortunate enough to become president. And if you, one more thing I'll mention in that regard, and if you've got some specifics you want me to address in terms of policy, I'm happy to, go ahead.
Specifically, some of the executive orders that he has done, and just in the last 3 weeks, some of the executive orders that he has made with regard to the Secret Service and their protection of people and people being allowed to exercise their First Amendment right to protest in the presence of the Secret Service. And some of those other types of executive orders that he has done just recently.
I'm not familiar with the orders with regards to the Secret Service, but I'll be happy to take a look at what he's done with regards to the Secret Service and protest. We obviously have a right to protest in this country and express our viewpoints. At the same time, we want to have people who are being protected not be in danger. So I'll see specifically what he has in mind. And obviously, we've all been disappointed by I have to hold on there, sir. We've been disappointed by the number of things that have happened at the government level, but I'll look at those executive orders. I would reserve the right, if I were president, to put in place executive orders. One I'd put in place that I mentioned off the top was that I would have in place an executive order that grants a waiver from Obamacare to all 50 states, and that's that'll be a battle. All right, that'll be a battle. So I will use that provision in ways I think are appropriate and constitutional, and ultimately the Congress and the Supreme Court and I will have the experience of defining exactly what those lines might be. Thank you. Let's see. What do we have? Yes, sir, right there. There's a young man there with a